Today we'll be practicing on the chair, and we're practicing standing as well. It's a chair yoga class, a gentle practice. You'll need to have some balls, whether they're tennis balls or physio balls, whatever you've got in the house. Just a little bit of pressure, not a golf ball, that's a little bit too much. And you'll also need to have a strap. And we're actually going to start with the tennis balls. We're going to start standing. So you'll need to just move your device so that you can see it, and then find some wall space and take your tennis balls. We're going to go right behind us, and we're going to travel up and down beside the spine but not on the spine. So we place the balls, walk the feet out, and then just put your weight onto the balls, and it's like a nice warm up for our body. So take a nice deep breath in, let it out with a sigh, and you can move the balls around. And as we, it's a little creative process because you'll be moving the balls around. So in the places that suit you, you might not really feel it so much in your lower back, so you'll want to bring the balls up a little higher so they end up right between the shoulder blades, and then look, you end up in a squat. So we kind of get the knees active. Notice your breath as you come up and down. See if you can breathe in and out through the nose. And you can go really low, you can stay high. And sometimes I find you might hit a spot and you just want to hang out. Just finding that little trigger spot and moving around. You can do little circles around it. You might be going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So this is a good way to begin practice where we, are starting to notice how our body feels. Just a little warm up, and you can also use the ball. Just take it, right around the hip area, and think about piriformis and glutes. Do a little side to side. It doesn't take long. 5-6 minutes every day. Just a nice little warm up, bringing you into body awareness. Sometimes when we get really busy, we get out of the body and our mind starts to take off, and we want to be in the body, because as soon as you come into the body, you're coming into present moment. Notice if you could switch sides. When you're really in the mind and you get detached from the body, you could be living in the past, you could be living in the future, and we want to live in the present. Right here, right now, noticing and being okay with whatever is. So we're going to notice how the body feels this morning. And notice our breath, and we'll let go of judgment. We won't create any big long tails or get caught up in any stories. We're going to notice how the body feels. And just be with whatever is, whatever we see, whatever we feel. So we're going to switch gears and come back to the chair, excuse me, and place the tennis balls right underneath the feet. My favorite part of the chair yoga practice is the fact that we can do both feet at the same time. We have all these different nerve endings, all the nerve endings in the feet, and so it's a great way to wake up the body. And good. You can even try and, do a little more pressure than you might, instead of soft, but a little more pressure just to see if there's any spots that you want to work on or focus on. And this waking up with the balls could be, you know, a 3-minute thing, a 5-minute thing, a 7-minute thing. But I think if you find spots, you could just hang out for as long as you wanted to. But for today, we're going to take them and put them away. And we'll move into another let's wake up our body kind of practice. And it's called radiantyoga. And we'll be doing some tapping. So take your right hand, make a soft fist with your right hand, bring it to your left shoulder, and then we tap. See how far back you could go. So I'd like to encourage you today, as we move through practice, to modify if you need to. So if I ask you to put your hands way up over your head and you have one shoulder that you know, is hurting, then you can always keep one hand down. So keep tapping, and we tap down the top of the left arm now, and then turn the hand over to come up the underside. And you could slow it down. And then bring the hand up and go around the armpit area. So we want to make the practice work for you. So modify, modify, modify. There's not supposed to be any pain, tingling or numbness. So let's make some sounds here. Ah, all the way across. Ah, just because it's good to make a sound. And then take the left hand, make a soft fist with the left hand, and bring it to the right shoulder. And considering that we all have different things going on, whether it's, you know, a crick in the neck or something going on with your shoulders, hips, or knees, sometimes it's balance. Doesn't it make sense to approach a practice and know that you are going to modify the practice to work for you, not against you? Tap, 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 tap. All the way down, all the way up, all the way down, and then around that arm. Good, and then on the belly. Yes, the more, when our mind goes off into tangents, you know, worry, that kind of thing, we end up becoming detached from our body, and that's often when the injuries happen. So we're going to go right to the top of the hips and down to the quadriceps. So say good morning to your body. Say good morning to your legs and your shoulders and your arms. Come to the outside edge of the hips. Open the legs a little wider. We're going to go down the outside edge and all the way down to the ankles, and then up the inside edge of the legs, all the way back up, and then all the way back down on the outside. We're just following the lines of energy in the body. This improves circulation. This gets things flowing, really. And then bring your hands to your knees and give your shins a little rub. We don't want to be pounding them. Just a nice little rub. So it really does get energy flowing, this mini massage. So the hamstrings, you can lift your legs up and do the hamstrings, or you can just move to the very edge of your chair on the corner and come to those hamstrings. There we go. Nice massage. And then the calves. You can pretend you're a drummer, get a beat going. Feels so good. And then give your tops of the feet. You can reach the top of the feet. A little tap. And hands on the knees, come up nice and slow. Slow, slow, slow. Take a nice deep breath in and release. So So I think we should do the bottoms of the feet as well. So on the toes first. Tap, 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 tap. And then the heels. Outside edge of the feet. It's a little awkward. And the inside edge of the feet. And then the whole foot. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Good. Give a little wiggle. So you really feel those sit bones. And you could take a look down at your toes, and even if you have your socks on, open the toes wide and then drop them down. Even if you have your shoes on, open the toes and then drop the toes down. Drop your shoulder blades back. Bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. And see if you could feel, when you breathe in and out, see if you could feel your body move. And if you can't feel it, exaggerate your breath. So you do, you feel your belly move against your hand and your chest lift underneath the other hand. So you can exaggerate the breath. And see if you could hear yourself breathe. And then bring your hands to your rib cage, and same thing, see if you could feel your rib cage expand underneath your hands. And if you can't, then start to exaggerate your breath a little bit. You could imagine the rib cage expanding, the belly expanding, the chest lifting, and you can also slow down your breath so it takes a little longer to finish your inhale and a little longer to finish your exhale. And when you exhale, the belly comes back towards the spine, and you might even feel the rib cage contract. Good. Take your hands to your back body now, just feeling around the rib cage area, and breathe in again. And when you exhale, you settle down, relax the shoulders. Try that again. And again. And release the hands. So the very foundational breath for our yoga practice is called the Dirgha breath, 3-part yogic breath. Lots of names, but it's 3 parts. And belly, sternum, upper lobes of the lungs. So when you breathe in, you want to feel that expansion as you breathe in. And when you exhale, you're going to feel the belly come back towards the spine. Picture inside the diaphragm like a balloon, and you know, when you blow a balloon up, the balloon expands, and when you let the air out, the balloon deflates. So you can use that in your imagination, this feeling of a balloon, the diaphragm as a balloon as you breathe in, and as you breathe out. So let's try that again, and notice how you're sitting. So you want to be away from the back of the chair, so not leaning against the chair. Feet are planted. Maybe create a bit of space between the feet so you feel really sturdy and grounded. And we'll move the arms just to further illustrate how you expand as you breathe in and contract as you breathe out. So one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Inhale, let the arms open. And when the arms open, look up and lift the chest even higher. And then exhale, bring the hands all the way back in, and we stay with a straight spine, but draw the belly back. Inhale. You can do a little bit of a back bend here just because, why not? Hands come back in as you exhale. And then let the hands rest on the belly and on the chest. Good. So in our yoga practice, we typically use that inhale, exhale through the nose, but there's other breaths as well that are specifically, exhaling through the mouth. And we're going to do one of those right now. It's called the sun breath. Inhale it through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And when you inhale, the arms come up, and when you exhale through the mouth, the arms come down. So plant the sit bones again. Lift up and out of the waistline. Notice if you're curled, we want to really straighten up. Maybe even tilt the hips forward slightly. Lift up, bring your shoulder blades back and down. Inhale up. And you can look up at the hands as they come together into prayer position. Reach up and then exhale through the mouth. And as the hands come all the way down, stay with the straight spine, but tuck the chin under as the hands come into the lap. Inhale, open out and up. Reach up. Inhale up. And one more time. Arch the spine, drop right into a back bend as the hands come up. Good. And release. Open the feet a little wider. So now we'll go back to our inhale, exhale through the nose. And if you find you're congested, actually give it a try. Block your right nostril with your thumb. Inhale through the left nostril. Exhale through the left nostril. Okay, block the other nostril. Exhale. And release. So if you're congested through one nostril or whatever, blow your nose. Take a second, pause the video, find some Kleenex, blow your nose, and then come back to this. Because we're going to breathe in and out through the nose, and it's going to be audible. So see if you could hear and listen to your breath. Slow it down, and we'll move in a rhythm with our breath. Hands come down to the side, maybe right hand to the side, left hand on the left knee. See if you can get a little bit taller. Inhale the right arm up. And now reach up. And then as you exhale, you could drop your left elbow on your knee. And reach over. So exhaling through the nose completely. And then when you finish that exhalation, we inhale and come back up and windmill the hands. And right arm's going to drop on the right knee and reach. Inhale up. And when you, left hand comes up. When you reach to the right, press the left sit bone, the hip, back into the chair. So that feeling of lengthening, and let's come back up, goes right from the hip through the waistline, through the rib cage, underneath the arm. pause here, and now twist. So left hand to the right knee, right hand's going to drop behind you on the chair, and now see if you can get a little bit taller, and then twist and look over your right shoulder. So we're not hunched down here at all. Inhale. Exhale completely. And now inhale and reach the hands forward. So if you're trying to reach towards me, and we'll straighten up, lengthen up as we exhale and peek over the left shoulder. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. See how you can move with your breath? And let's come back to center. Hands on the knees. Again, feet are really planted. We're going to shift as far forward as you can. No toppling off the chair. Bring your shoulder blades back. Bring the chin up. Inhale. And as you exhale, come back and tuck the tailbone under, round the spine, tuck the chin under, and then come back up. So I'm going to show you that from the side so you can see more really what's happening. So we come forward and shoulders back, chin up. I feel like my pelvis is really tilting here. But when I come up, I tuck my tailbone under, round the spine, and tuck the chin. So back and forth with this rounded spine with the breath. So let's give that a try. Come right down to begin. Shoulders back, chin up. Inhale. And begin. Come back, tuck. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And then come all the way back up, and we'll circle the torso, rocking around the sit bones. Forward and back. And notice if you could hear any sound. Sometimes it feels like everything's creaking and crackling. It's all good, unless it hurts. And then circle the other way, go the other direction. And come all the way back up. Bring the feet together. Inhale the hands back up, right back into a sun breath. And release. I'd like to show you the next part. I'll demonstrate it first and then we'll do it together. So I'll move from the side. We're going to inhale the hands up and then exhale into a forward fold. And the arms will float up behind you, and then we'll inhale back up, and then exhale, bring the hands around behind us again, this time holding on to the chair, straightening out the legs, pointing the toes, lifting the chest, and you can stay right here, really arching the spine, lifting the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together, so there's a little bit of weight bearing here on the hands. You can stay right there, or lift the hips up, just to see how that feels, even more weight bearing, and then drop the hips down. Now, if you've got a chair on wheels, don't do it. I've got a really sturdy chair on the mat, and that's what you want. You don't want to have your chair slipping when you lift your hips up. So let's give that a try. Maybe I'll do it right from the side. Okay. Reach the hands up. Inhale. And exhale. exhale, reach forward. Let the belly rest on the knees. In, the hands come up behind you. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, reach back, lean into the hands, point the toes, and lift the hips. And release it. The hips don't want to come up, don't worry about it. Let them just rest on the mat or on the chair. And reach forward, hands come up behind you. Straighten the legs, arch the spine, peek up. Release. Good. So we just moved through the 6 movements of the spine, to the left, to the right, twist left, and then arching and rounding. But let's move into the 7th movement of the spine. So planting the hips again, planting the feet, and now lengthen. Imagine you could create more space between the vertebrae and the spine. So you lift up and out of the waistline. Imagine a cord attached to the crown of the head, drawing you up so you're really sitting tall. You're not slouched back. Maybe the hips are even tilted slightly forward. Go back to our Dirgha breath, 3-part yoga breath. Breathing into the belly, sternum, upper lobes of the lungs. Draw the belly right back towards the spine as you exhale. When you inhale, it's as if you feel like you're growing taller. So now you're feeling and noticing from the inside out that feeling of expansion in the belly and the lift in the chest and the lift in the rib cage. And then the contraction as you exhale. You can close your eyes. See if you could hear yourself breathe. A slight tucking of the chin, perhaps, the tension on the throat. So it's very much a throat breath. When we move into our ocean breath, and you could hear it. And I'd like to leave you with this breath. So stay with the breath, keep your eyes closed. See if you can stay with this very mindful, very deliberate, long. Breathe in a little more than you normally would, and deep and slow, so that it takes much longer to get to the top of your breath than it normally would, and that it takes much longer to get to the bottom of your breath than it normally would. So keep it slow and stay with this for the next couple of minutes on your own. Namaste.